When you look at just the offensive side of the performance, whether it was last night, whether it was last week, is there something that you've been seeing from your guys and you kind of want to see just those at-bats getting going?
I think in totality, it's just, we're just not really hitting the ball hard. There's, obviously when a team's struggling, what happens? There's more chase. You're not hitting pitches or ending at bats when you should. Then there might be some bad luck as far as some atom balls. But for the most part, the last few weeks, you look up and down our lineup, there's only a few guys that are, have their head above water as far as kind of on the production side. So I think just offensively, we just got to kind of take one at bat at a time and just take good at bats and expect some things to turn. But no, guys are trying to find their way, and they will.
Is it surprising just about how long it's taking some of these guys, whether it's Freddie or someone like Mookie Betts who's not in the lineup today?
Yeah, it is. It's surprising in the sense that if you look at all these guys, the extended funk, slump, whatever they're in, they're elongated, they're longer than we're used to from these guys. So, and it's all happening right now. So it is a surprise. We are facing some good pitching, but every night we're not facing Cy Young, so I think we all understand that. But yeah, I mean, they're still grinding. The hitting coaches are working hard. The players are working hard to hopefully, tonight, put some runs on the board against a really good pitcher.
I'm guessing this wasn't a scheduled off day for Mookie.
No, it wasn't scheduled, and it's just more for me. It's just kind of talking to him and just kind of, seeing where his head's at and seeing where he's at mechanically. I just felt that tonight was a night that I felt he needed to be down, and he was more than, willing and wanting to be out there. But for me, I felt I wanted to take it out of his hands and have a day, and I've talked about this before, is have players watch a baseball game, and I understand that we had 4 days off for the break, but still showing up to the ballpark and not participating, watching, that's a different mindset, psyche than being at home. So for him to come here, show up, not play, know he's not going to play, I think I feel good about the work he's going to put forth today, and also I think for the mind it'll be beneficial. And so I don't know how long it's going to be. It could be one night, could be two. My expectation is he'll be back in there tomorrow, but I think for me it's going to be a day-to-day thing, and it's going to be on my decision on how I feel he is kind of, mentally to take on that night's starter or play a big league ball game.
Is there kind of reading like his body language last night, or just kind of how his struggles have kind of mounted on him, even coming off of the week off?
I think last night, just kind of even leading up to the break, and he wants to do well. He's not used to struggling like this, and I think he's playing great defense. And there's a part of it you feel like you're letting people down, the team down, and so that weight that is just natural for him to carry is there. So that's a little bit from last night, just kind of seeing him.
Considering how long he's been struggling, is there any thought to moving him down that you want to move him back?
I don't know. I mean, I've thought about that, but, in talking to Mookie, I just don't know if hitting him first or ninth or anywhere in between changes where he's at mechanically. And I think he's very sold on the fact that he's got to clean some things up mechanically. So, where you hit in the order just isn't going to change that.
Are you concerned that dropping him in the order would just kind of feed into the negative feelings that he's having?
Yeah, I think that I think ultimately it's more of if I felt that a change, a different look in the lineup would help performance, I would do it. I'd be all in. But where he's at, I just don't think that moving him down, I don't think it would affect the psyche. I just don't think it'd be beneficial. So for me, it's to then add him, moving him down the ladder. I just don't think the benefit of it right now.
Are you seeing this with Freddie as well? Is this something you would consider for him as well?
Probably not. I think that the at-bats have been a little bit better over the last 4 or 5 games, and so no, I don't see that happening with Freddie.
How receptive was Mookie to getting today off and potentially some other future?
He understood, he's a guy that he wants to be out there every single day, but I think he understood that it was my decision, and I think that's best for him. I think it's best for our ball club, and he'll be ready when called upon.
Dave, having been around Shohei for 1.5 years now, you ever wonder what it's like to be in his shoes and play under the spotlight that he plays under?
I take a quick minute to kind of imagine what it must be like, the kind of attention, anticipation, excitement, scrutiny, whatever you want to say. And then I get kind of hot flashes. So I don't know how he does it with such class and grace. I really don't. And then there's a lot of levity with certain things that he can do. But man, he's a special person. He really is. And I mean, he's a once in a generational person. I just, in today's world, with the attention, the media, the social media, how tough baseball is now with the kind of the specialty roles, and for him to be this good, it's really amazing, and I don't take it for granted.
How do you think he handles that all?
I think he's got obviously a wonderful wife, a baby, and I think he gets his rest. He likes to sleep. I think he eats well. I really don't know, Mike. It's pretty, to get inside that brain how it works, I don't know how it works. I don't know.
I think trying to throw again last night at OKC, do you know any more about need?
I think he's going to throw on Sunday, so he's going to throw tomorrow. And then my assumption is he'll probably, so if that's 2 out of 3, he'll probably get 2 or 3 days off, and then, hope to mix in a back-to-back, and then after that, then, hopefully be ready to come to us.
Dave, last night you mentioned Hanson's defense. Seems like we can see his best version of his defense at second base, but he also had some versatility. How do you make a balance between that?
Yeah, I think right now, I think his best defensive position is second base. But I do feel that he can play major league shortstop, and I think that over time he's gotten better at center field. Ironically, he's played more left field than center field in the KBO. So, but I think the versatility, the willingness to play anywhere has been very helpful. And he's playing really, really good defense. The way he gets off on the ball, going to his forehand, his backhand, the arm strength, the accuracy, he's doing a heck of a job.
Any update of Roki? I think before the All-Star, you told us the end of August.
Yeah, I think the end of August is still in play. I think he's got another bullpen, I think it's tomorrow. And I'm not sure if what pitches he's using, but Roki's in a good spot. He really is. The velocity is ticking up. He's not feeling any pain. And so I'm really I'm pretty excited everything I'm hearing about him. Probably more so than I've been in the last couple months.
After the pen, what's going to be the process? It's going to be like BP or trick-way or what's going to be?
It'll be live BP. I'm not sure how much that would entail, and then he'll have to go on a rehab assignment, to build up innings and pitches.
How about his mental?
I think his mental side's good. I think, I think he's to the point where he's missing competing again. I think he feels healthy, which is exciting to him. I think the main thing is he's missing playing again, and that's a good thing. That's good. He's anxious.
How close is Kike?
Kike is, he's not doing any kind of baseball activities. It's going to be, I don't know. I mean, I think that, I don't know a timeline. I don't think Kike knows a timeline. I think certainly the time that he's going to be down, not doing baseball stuff, there's a build-up to get him back to playing with us, which would obviously mean a rehab assignment when that happens. So I just don't know a timeline. So we're sort of in a holding pattern until he gets pain-free.
Is this a little longer than you expected when he?
Absolutely, yes.
And Dave, it's being the first Fernando Valenzuela bobblehead night since he passed, and it looks like there's a mural that's going to be unveiled soon. Just how has his legacy lived on within the ball club?
It continues to live strong. Everywhere you go in Los Angeles, you see, signs or murals of Fernando, and we think about him often. His impact for the city, the country, Southern California, Mexico will live forever. And so it's great. It'll be great to celebrate him, and I think members of his family will be here tonight, which would be nice. Thanks, guys.